Willie D Live.
Singer David he's in a major jam right now, fam. He's in a major jam. I'm talking about the investigators, are closing in on David. His record exec appeared before a grand jury, and the police asked him straight up, "Why didn't you call the police?" The story goes the president of David's touring company was grilled Monday by a deputy district attorney in front of a grand jury on why he didn't call the cops. A grand jury is hearing evidence in the death of Celeste Rivas. Homicide Division is considering David a suspect, and what it says is an apparent homicide. Robert Mongerath, the general manager of Mogul Vision, David's record label, is also the president of Zara Brothers Travel, David's touring company. Morgan Roth testified all day Monday before the LA grand jury, at one point with a half dozen people in the hallway. Morgan Roth came out into the hallway and was talking to his lawyer loud enough so others could hear, he said, referring to Beth Silverman, the deputy DA presenting the case before the grand jury. She was very pushy on why I didn't call the police. He went on to recount how he responded. I said, I feel like I didn't have the responsibility to do that and just wanted to continue with the tour. We don't know the name or we don't know the time frame of the tour to which he was referring, but David was on tour when Celeste's body was discovered in his TELSA, which had been parked near an LA house he was renting. This underscores David is squarely in the crosshairs of LAPD and LA County District Attorney. So what I want to know is, fam, do you think it was David tour managers or the general manager of his touring company's responsibility to contact the police once they realized that a body was found, or once he realized that a body was found in the trunk of David's car? Was it his responsibility? No. I don't think that was his responsibility. I don't think it was his responsibility. One could argue that he had an ethical or moral right or moral responsibility to speak on that or say something about it. But why should he have to call the police? They know who David is. They know where to get him. Why they can't just go get him? Why should everybody have to be involved in the case if they're not in the case? If I'm not in the case, do your job, officer. I don't like the idea of having to do the police job. Because I don't recall ever a police officer helping me do my job. I don't recall the police ever writing one lyric for any of the hundreds of songs that I've written. I don't remember the police ever coming over there and say, I never remember any police officers coming through and say, man, let's get over there and help Willie D write them lyrics, man. You know what I'm talking about? He's going to be talking about us. So we may as well control the narrative. I don't recall them doing that. Hell, I don't recall them walking into the kitchen at Kentucky Fried Chicken and helping me cook that chicken. Yeah. That's for y'all who didn't know. I used to work at Kentucky. Yeah, I was cold with that 10-10-10. Y'all don't know nothing about that 10-10-10. I swore to secrecy on that 10-10-10. That's the whole, formula, for making the chicken, perfect. I'm talking about perfect. That's the formula. And I was sworn to secrecy to not speak on that. I'm really not even supposed to be talking about this. I could get killed. You know what I'm talking about? this secret ingredients and stuff. I can't speak on this stuff. Now I know some of y'all have asked me through the years, like, what is it, Will? What is it? And I'm like, I'm not giving up that information. That's sensitive information. It's sensitive information. And I never ever give that information up. But yeah, I was that dude. I was that dude, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Drop that thing, clean that floor. You had to, some of y'all don't know, but when you're in the kitchen cooking, you're also responsible for keeping your station clean, your workstation clean. That includes mopping floors. So, grease drop on the floors, food sometimes drop on the floors, and you're responsible for cleaning that stuff, keeping your station clean. So, and that's inside information right there, y'all. Some of y'all ain't never worked in the restaurant business. Now, this is for all my restaurant people. All y'all who worked in the restaurant business before, for me to you, this is us. Let's block all these other people out because they don't understand the commitment it takes to work in fast food. So we're going to block all of them out. I'm talking to you directly. We have a lot of pressure on ourselves working in fast foods. That's why it's not wise for people to come running up on you and stuff in a fast food, man, because we already on the edge. We already being underpaid. And I've never received a fast food check for more than what I expected or even the amount that I expected. It was always lower than the lowest amount I thought I was going to get. But they be finding a way to get you, man. So yeah, you don't want to mess with the fast food industry like that. You don't want to mess with us like that, man, because we different. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all be talking about football fraternity and military fraternity. No, y'all ain't got nothing on the fast food fraternity, man. We different. We cut from a different cloth. Yeah, that's right. Y'all don't want to mess with that right there. Y'all don't mess with that. But yeah, David got some problems, fam. David, he got some serious problems right now. And I've said initially, I kind of bit my tongue on this story when I first heard it because I was hoping for the best. I was hoping that the brother somehow, some way didn't find himself caught up in something like that. But immediately, if a body is found in the trunk of your vehicle, I don't give a damn if you are on tour. I don't care if you the king of Zimbabwe or whatever. That's a fictional country. But I don't care who you are. If they find a body in the trunk of your vehicle, you are the prime suspect. So that's what I gathered from the moment that I heard about that case. I said, he's the prime suspect. He absolutely is. I know if it was my loved one, let's take race out of it. If it's my loved one and I hear that just listening to the facts, this guy is on tour. My loved one was found in the trunk of his vehicle. She's underage, he's this, and just all of the little things. And I'm like, yeah, let's talk to this dude. I know we got to pull up on him. In fact, they wouldn't have had to worry about the police questioning him and telling him to come to the station when he get back in town. We're going to pull up on the tour. Yeah, we're going to pull up and we're going to gather our own information. We're going to do our own investigation. So, yeah, David, he got some problems. He got some serious problems. And they also talked about how he and another guy who they consider to be an accomplice went to another city in California, and they were out in a remote area for several hours. And they're thinking that perhaps that's where they either murdered or chopped up the body. Yeah. motive could have been anything. The motive could be anything. She was 15 years old. Perhaps they got into a fight and he hurt her. Maybe she bumped her head and died. And he said, okay, I got to finish the job. I got to conceal this. Maybe she said she was pregnant. He freaked out. Can't be getting a 15-year-old pregnant. Maybe she said she's going to go to the police. She freaked out. For a kid, a 15-year-old kid is not going to have it all together mentally. Hell, David, I think, is 21, 22. He ain't got it all together mentally. Making these videos about death. He even got a video where he where he shows a person being put in the trunk of a vehicle. A dead person being put in the trunk of a vehicle. Yeah. So yeah, he got some explaining to do.